Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm David, and I'm very glad to have this presentation today. For today's topic, it is an introduction about Cloud Enterprise Network. This is an innovation product and which represents the future development of Ali Cloud Network product. And for today's content, they are classified into 4 categories. The first part is an overview of what the Cloud Enterprise Network is and the Ali Cloud Network evolution path. And the second part is an introduction of common use of Ali Cloud Enterprise Network. The third part is an illustration of the features of Cloud Enterprise Network and the comparison between CEN and existing network products. The abbreviation of Cloud Enterprise Network is CEN. And then the last part is a brief overview of the CEN system architecture. So let's get back to the main point of our first chapter. The first chapter is the evolution of Apsara network. As we can see in the following diagram, this is evolution map that Ali Cloud Network went through. The original network is classic network, and in this network only provide the function of communication with public. When the second generation network appears, that VPC can isolate customers' network and the customer can control their network freely. And at the same time, the function of Express Connect is invented to solve the VPC to VPC's communication issue. After a long period, Ali Cloud has done research about what next generation network is and how to provide an intelligent network for customer. The corresponding Cloud Enterprise Network is innovated and can help customer to share the global resources in one network, as we can see. According to the CEN, different regions VPC is attached to CEN and can communicate with each other in a full meshed way. Next, let's see what the Cloud Enterprise Network is. The Cloud Enterprise Network is a global network that includes network instances such as VPC and VBR in different regions to realize global intercommunication. In this chart, the network instances in China, Germany, USA, and Japan have been attached into the network. As we can see, the following chart is a hybrid network architecture. With the help of list line, customers connect their own on-premise IDC to Ali Cloud. This is a prerequisite step to let IDC communication with Ali Cloud. As we can see for this part, with the help of list line and deploying the protocols of BGP, the customer's IDC connected to Ali Cloud. Moreover, in order to fulfill the communication between IDC to VPC, VPC to VPC, even IDC to IDC's intercommunication, if CEN is deployed, that means all network instances are attached into CEN. Then peer-to-peer link is established. Through automatic routing forwarding and learning, CEN quickens network convergence and improves communication quality and security. CEN also helps customers to create an enterprise-class network. For the second part, I will give a brief introduction of how to use the CEN. First, let's take an overview. Normally, there are 4 steps to realize the intercommunication between different regions. Network instances intercommunication. First, to create a CEN. Then, attach the corresponding network instances, which need to communicate with each other into CEN. The third part, to bypass geography bandwidth package. And the last part, to allocate the bandwidth to intercommunication regions to realize network instances intercommunication. As we can see, normally there are 4 steps to realize the intercommunication between 2 network instances. Here, I need to emphasize that if the networks are in the same region, there's no need to buy bandwidth package to realize the instances communications. The same region's network instances can intercommunicate with each other by default. Just now, I introduced the 4 steps of how to use CEN. Now, let's take a look at China and the USA network instances intercommunication. And here, I need to illustrate how to buy bandwidth package and how to allocate bandwidth package. Our target is to let China and the USA network instances to communicate with each other. So, the first of all, choose geography region China and the USA and buy the bandwidth package. Here, in our example or in our demo, we will buy 1 gigabit bandwidth package. Then, according to the needs, allocate the bandwidth between China regions and the USA regions, like China to US East, China to Beijing to US East, Beijing to US West, Shanghai to US East, Shanghai to US West, etc. And after the completion of the first 2 steps, China region include Beijing, Shanghai, Hangzhou, can communicate with US East region like US East and US West. Just now, I mentioned the geography area and the regions. Here, I need to explain what's the relationships between the geography area and the region. In Ali Cloud, there are 18 regions allocated in the world, and in CEN, the regions are classified into geography areas. For example, China mainland geography include Beijing, Shanghai, Hangzhou, Inner Mongolia, etc. North America include the US East and the US West. Asia Pacific include Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, India, Malaysia, Indonesia. Europe include Frankfurt and Australia include Sydney. The third part, I will take a look at the features and superiorities of CEN. In the near future, there are more than 18 regions and 100 access points will be established worldwide. With this fundamental network infrastructure, can facilitate customer to connect to Ali Cloud anywhere in the world, as we can see from this network topology. And next, from the network architecture, let's see superiority of CEN. As we can see that In Express Connect, it is a network which features of point-to-point networks. For different regions intercommunication, customers need to establish multiple peer-to-peer links, like here, to realize their intercommunication needs. While in CEN is a full-meshed network. If different network instances are attached into CEN, then from one network instances, it can communicate globally resources in the CEN. From the network operating and maintaining view, let's see CEN's advantages. Let's see how do customers to let different VPC in different regions to communicate with each other in the past. Customers have to buy many peer-to-peer Express Connect and configure corresponding routing information manually. This is really time-consuming and increase the complexity for customers to maintain and operate their networks. While currently, based on CEN, when the VPC or VBR is attached into CEN, then network is established in a full-meshed way. The routing is distributed automatically. In this way, the burden of maintaining and operating the network is reduced. And moreover, let's compare the Express Connect and the CEN's differences when purchasing bandwidth package. For Express Connect, the bandwidth is dedicated for fixed regions intercommunications, as we can see in this chart. If Beijing and Shanghai want to communicate with US East and US West, there must 4 bandwidth packages customers need to buy. While in CEN, the bandwidth package is based on cross-geography region. If China to USA bandwidth package is purchased, then regions between China and the USA, they can communication with each other and share the bandwidth package. The last part is an overview of CEN's network architecture. As we can see here, CEN controller is a centralized controller, and the controller is to manage the route and the network instances. The network instances include the VPC and the VBR. And for the CEN's controller, it has the key functions like the bandwidth management, address conflict detection, the route automatic learning and forwarding, and meanwhile the system monitoring. Just now is an introduction of what the CEN is and how to use the CEN. I introduced the 4 steps to use the CEN in a common scenario. And next, we will show you how to use CEN in the console. First, let's log on to the CEN's website and log into the console. As we can see in this console, and the consisting part include create a CEN instances. Here, if we click the button, and then it appears the information we want to create in the CEN, and we name the CEN. And meanwhile, we can also attach the network instances into the CEN. For example, we attach the VPC, VBR, or cloud box into CEN, and we also need to choose the regions of the network instances. Here is an example which I have already created in CEN, and let's go to the management to check what's the information there. As we can see here, in the management part, there are 4 elements which consist of the CEN. The first is the networks. Here, it is the network instances which are attached into the CEN. And as we can see, the 3 VPC have already attached into the CEN. If we want to attach more CEN network instances into the CEN, we can click the button Attach Network. We choose the VPC and we choose the regions which the VPC belong to, and you can also choose the specific network instances here. And then if we want to let different regions network instances to intercommunicate with each other, we need to buy the bandwidth package, and then we change to the bandwidth packages. Here we can see this is the bandwidth packages which have been already purchased, and if we want to buy a new bandwidth package, we can click the Buy Bandwidth Packages button and then go to the Buy page, and we can choose the geographic area which the network instances belong to. That means we want where to communicate with each other, and we also choose the bandwidth bandwidth. After the bandwidth package is purchased, we need to allocate the regions to regions bandwidth, and we click the Set Regions Connection and choose the bandwidth packages which we purchased, and then allocate, and then to choose the connection regions. Like we buy the bandwidth packages is from mainland China to North America, we can choose like Qingdao, and another part is the US East or US West, and to set the bandwidth. Like this part, this intercommunication regions bandwidth was already set. And for the last part, we can also to check the routing information in different regions. If different regions network instances have already been attached into the CEN, and then we can check in different regions the routing information have been learned. Like we have already attached the Japan's VPC, the Singapore's VPC, and Hangzhou's VPC, and we change to the routing part and we choose the Japan region. As we can see that in Japan region, it also can learn the routing from Singapore's VPC and Japan's VPC. This is Japan's VPC itself, and this is the routing information which learned from the Singapore. So this is a brief introduction of the console part, and thanks for your listening. Thank you. Okay, so let's take a review of today's presentation. For today's presentation, they are classified into two parts. The first part is an introduction of the 4 topics in the slides, and the topics in the slides are classified into 4 parts. The first one is an overview of what the Cloud Enterprise Network is, and the second part is an introduction of common use of the CEN. And then the third part is an illustration of the features of CENs and the comparison between CEN and the Express Connect. And the last part is a brief overview of the CEN's system architecture. And in order to help you to have a better understanding of the CENs and how to use it, we have an introduction of the console and what the constitution of the console is and the elements of its part, how it works. And as we can see here, there are 4 parts, and we introduce each part theory and its restrictions from the networks, the bandwidth package, the region restrict connections, and the roads. And in logically, the 4 parts function actually is the same as what I introduced in the previous slides. And I hope this can be helpful for you. If you want to know more information about what the CEN is and how it worked and how to use it, please feel free to contact us. And thank you very much.